Right, guys, welcome back. This is Above Average FPL. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. How are you doing this evening, mate?
I'm all right, mate. What a non-existent week.
Pretty much. Pretty dull. I've been looking a bit dismal with my. I've been feeling pretty sorry for myself with my score, but then looking around, it doesn't really matter because no one's actually scoring any points anyway. So I saw you chatting in the chat beforehand, just asking people. There's a couple of people that have more than 35 points, but pretty much everyone's in the depths of sort of the late 20s, early 30s, really, by the sounds of it, which is a bit nothing.
Yeah. I it's so hard to go anywhere. It's so hard. And even if like you do the big stuff, like your team when it reloaded for a -4, I was like, this looks fire, mate. This looks like you could. Well, you should have been on 40 points alone just off of
City.
Alvarez, Haaland, and KDP, and then we get to this. We've all got triple Brighton to go, wherever it is, and most of us on 30 points, if that.
It's a pile of shit, mate. It's weird because it feels this time of the season you either smash it or it just all just sort of goes down the pan. I find.
Yeah.
So because you're taking risks, right? People are deciding to take risks and stuff. Like I dipped my toes into the top 100k once and was like, "Oh, this is good. Let's have a little bit of fun." And I've just been sort of walking backwards ever since, which has been a bit of a pain.
And that puts everyone else off doing it, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of hoped I'd see loads of Salah caps. I kind of hoped I'd see loads of them and everyone would be gloating about it. But you didn't see loads of Salah caps. Like, there's a few. But even then, like, they did get lucky. I mean, how Haaland doesn't end up with 20 points is ridiculous. How that's an 8-point swing between those two on this weekend. Like, that's worked out in a very, very favourable way.
It's not even the stuff that Haaland didn't, or did. It's not even the chances that Haaland didn't score. I mean, it's literally just him handing the penalty over to Gundogan. That's it.
Yeah,
and that's it. And that's a 7-point goal. It's as simple as that. Mad.
Yeah. I was really hoping I'll refresh Twitter and see loads of people go, yeah, I cap Salah. Just nobody's doing it. But there's quite a lot of lethargic performances as well, I thought, tonight. I thought so many teams look leggy, going through the motions. I think we're all going through the motions. They're going through the motions. It was like, yeah.
Just get it done.
Just get it done, mate. Just get it done. 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks to go. And we've got to review this absolute disaster of a game week. So I don't think we're going to spend loads and loads of time. Maybe we'll come back later on in the week because you won't be here for next week's review, right? So
I'm not here for next week's review.
So
I am off on holiday.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
That's nice. Nice for you.
Nice for me.
Bastard.
Yeah, you feel. I do sense my daily posting of the weather updates. I do feel that you
stop fucking sending me the weather in Scottsdale. Seriously. I'm in Aberdeen. It's cold and it's wet. Right?
Oh no, 36 degrees when I get there. It's gonna be terrible.
Mate, my saving grace is that I'm playing Castle Stuart on Thursday and I can't fucking wait. That's about as much as I can say. Hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. Again, I'm not sure whether I said hello to you already.
Yeah, fair play for joining us tonight, mate. Like
50 of you already. This is good.
This week and so little time to go. We're very grateful.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you can be asked, we can't be asked. Well, we can, but yeah.
We always can. We always
find a way. So we should always say that Crypto Block Dan, you've followed us before. You've heard us say this every single week. Crypto Block Dan, he supports the podcast. He supports the channel. Thank you to Dan. He is an acquisition analyst for a play-to-earn crypto company called Yield Guild Games. And he's a fantastic guy. He knows all about crypto, the blockchain, use cases of the technology, all of that good stuff. If you want to know more about it, drop him a follow and ask him some questions. He's done very, very well in the last few weeks. He gave us a little call about a month ago. He said it's about time certain coins are going to go mental, and he sort of basically 15x'd his money on something. So just went a bit mad.
Phenomenal.
So yeah, he's he's a great guy. He's really close to taking me at the moment in FPL. He might have already done it. So
Tasty.
yeah, frustrating, but no, really nice guy. Go follow him on Twitter at CryptoBlockDan. Supports us. Thank you very much for your support, Dan. Really, really appreciate it. And also to Sertalp again. Sertalp FPL optimized provides us with all the data for our XG plots, which are absolutely superb. Really, really clear. Really, really stepping up our production, which is we're really, really grateful for. So go follow Sertalp. If you don't, check out fploptimized.com. Check out the FPL Optimized podcast. Thank you, Sertalp. Really appreciate it. And a final one, we do have a Discord channel, patreon.com/above average FPL if you want to join there. Obviously it's going to quieten down towards the end of the season. And, but we're chatting our way through the last few game weeks. We're having a bit of fun, different games and stuff like that to keep us entertained for the last few weeks. There'll be a period over the summer, obviously, where it's all free. So if you want to join, you'll get a month free over the summer. And that goes to everyone who's already on our Patreon. So thank you to you guys as well. And, yeah, come join the conversation. If you don't want to join us over on Patreon, on Discord, that's absolutely fine. But if you do enjoy what you're watching, what you're listening to, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and drop a comment. If you just let us know how you got on this game week, we're going to guess you got between 25 and 35 points so far. And yeah, let us know what you're thinking for next week. Obviously, we're all looking at like Newcastle and Brighton players and who we're going to captain. And do you want to go to double Newcastle attack? Let us know what your plans are. And yeah, we can continue the conversation down in the comments. I think that's good. I think we're good there.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get in the games, mate.
Get into the games. There are 7 games on the wheel. I need to go to the wheel. We don't have the... Oh, no, we do have the United game, but we don't have the data. So if it goes to the United game, we'll just leave it for now and we'll spin it again. Okay? It's the only time we're going to do it. But the wheel is fair, as always. 9 consecutive home games.
King Mo Salah.
Yeah. See, annoyingly, I heard this stat on Match of the Day that yesterday he scored 9 consecutive home games. I was like, mate, that is the sort of information I could have used pre-deadline before hitting him out. And then post-deadline, I also saw an advert with Holly on it, and she said he scored in his last 8 home games. I was like, fuck's sake, why didn't I see this advert yesterday? I just didn't know.
I mean, I didn't feel comfortable capping it because I do feel at the moment like he gets one good chance a game, and whether that be a penalty or whether it be this one. I mean, he took 2 stabs at it, didn't he, to get the goal? But it feels like he's only really. It feels like he's a lot more peripheral in the way that they're playing. The pass maps for this one for Liverpool, I thought were a bit more interesting in that we've seen repeatedly it's almost like a 3 at the back with Robbo as like almost left centre back, and then we've got Trent now moving in the middle with Fabinho, and then almost this pair of wingers, and then Gakpo's right up there. What we have seen in the last few weeks is that teams been able to really play through the middle for them because there's nobody pressing the ball in the middle because everyone's stuck out wide with these like double wingers. But Gakpo was noticeably just missed a press in this game. He was everywhere. Predominantly a little bit more on the right side, I would say, if anything, doing a bit of an extra job with Trent and Mo. But he kind of left that top position to try and fill this hole in midfield. What I felt it meant was it then become a little bit harder to build anything. So they had 2 really, really, really good chances in the game.
Yeah.
The Darwin chance, the Mo chance. If you take that out of this game, it's just really scrappy.
Yeah. And Brentford are missing like 2 or 3 good chances here that would have been recorded and they've not been offside as well. They were literally like inches offside. So you even think like the Bumo goal and stuff like that. So the game was probably, apart from those 2 chances, a lot closer than it shows here, I think, is what we're trying to say.
What it probably doesn't show, I think, looking forward to it, is the number of times you felt like as a Trent owner he was about to score.
Yeah.
Like, considering he's a defender, there was so many times where either both the left side, right side, where it was like, he wants to bang. I cannot see a way that we go through the last 3 game weeks where he doesn't bang a screamer in from 20 yards. Like,
I can't believe he didn't score one yet. I can't believe Raya saved the one he did yesterday. I
yeah,
actually can't quite work out how he saved it.
well, because he's a brilliant keeper.
I mean, he
That's
went
why.
super early and made it look pretty routine as well. So that was a bit, yeah, I'd say
He's the
frustrating
best
as a
thing.
relatively
He's the
low owned.
best fingertip keeper in the league. You know, you've got big body boys or finger boys, you know, and he is the best fingertip keeper. That's why his saves look so cool.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Anything else to say on that? I mean, I was.
Are you thinking that you would bench Trent in 36?
How was I looking? How was I looking at this? I don't think I was looking at benching Trent. I was actually stupid. I was looking at more like benching Son, to be honest, because I mean, and as punty as my moves have been, I actually looked at it with a level head last night / this morning, and I was like, what the fuck have I done here? Because I've got so I can't really move anywhere at the moment. No, I'm looking at I'm looking I'm looking at a 5-4-1 at the moment with Trent. It's like my bench is like Alvarez, Son, and Ferguson. Because Ferguson might probably play, but
What?
then
Did you say your bench was Son?
yeah.
You got Son on the bench?
Well, I've got Mitoma, Rashford, March, and De Bruyne, Haaland. I've got Pope, Trippier, Botman. Right, who am I benching? Am I benching Son? Should I bench Shaw or Lindelof at home or Son away?
No, you've got a bench. You've got a bench Shaw over Son.
Well, yeah, Shaw probably out of the two. Out of the
What
three.
kind, mate? You're losing our trademark of the most biased Spurs podcast out there. Yeah. We can't be doing that.
Yeah. Well,
Just
we didn't
De
create much this
Gea.
week.
You can't do that again with De Gea.
No, that's true. Well, that's true.
We've got
I say I'm
we've
looking at it.
immediately got
Looking at
off
it
this.
earlier. I was looking at it before the
We're,
game today, and to be honest, that's actually I'm actually happy. Like my attitude towards FPL now has gone right down. I'm actually happy that West Ham kept a clean sheet for other reasons. So rare, I think, is what is the reason there.
so rare.
So rare,
But
exactly.
Trent, I do not want to bench Trent at all
No,
next week. And Salah's doing Salah things. And it's going to be really interesting when we get to 37 because I think a lot of people are going to be looking to potentially take him out for KDB or Bruno and the likes. But it's got a home game in 37.
yeah,
That's a difficult. And then he got Southampton in 38. Is it Southampton in 38?
yes,
We should probably.
yeah. It's Brentford, Leicester away. It's Brentford this week, then Leicester away. Sorry, they've just played Brentford. Leicester away, Villa at home, Southampton away.
They are tough. They are a tough remove, those two. Because look at our weeks. We've all got about 30 weeks and 30 points this week. And over half my points have come from those two this week.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not quite, they're working their way into it. I actually think the Gakpo move of becoming more like Bobby, where he's doing a lot more pressing, he's not staying up there as a number 9. I think eventually that becomes better for the other wider forwards. And I think it becomes better for Liverpool that they can occupy more in the middle. So, yeah.
I mean, it was. When Klopp announced that lineup, it was just like you just knew how they'd line up in possession, right? You just knew it was a 3-3-4. It was a bang 3-3-4, or even a Gakpo just dropping in slightly, but
yeah,
3-3-1-3 type of fare.
It didn't fully play out
No,
like as a 4-man forward though. It didn't really.
It's weird though because how would it? Because you'd feel in those front. You kind of just expect Darwin to be the left-sided guy, wouldn't you? And you'd expect Gakpo and Jota to be the central guys out the 4.
As we're getting into the season, Darwin.
No. No.
Well, look, let's just remember Ollie Watkins. Let's remember Ollie Watkins finishing what he did.
Yeah, it took him like 3 years. It took him like 3 years to get to that point, though.
Did. But I think I saw something like he scored 6 goals in his first game, 6 goals in his first season in Portugal, and then scored like 26 the season after or something like that. So
cool. We'll come back. We'll come back to it in July then.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
We'll do that in July. Anything Brentford?
We might get him cheaper. We might get him cheap. That'd be the good part. If we get Darwin at like 8.0 is a really good price for him. That'd be good.
Mm.
Yeah, just Brentford. Well, Tony should score next
Tony
week.
Tony should score next week against West Ham. That should be
Yeah.
locked in.
Everyone's looking obviously at Tony or Watkins to Isaac or Wilson or both. But yeah, taking Tony out next week, win every other week, we know what's coming.
Yeah. Good luck with that one.
And he's so good. Like, he was the best player on that pitch. I thought Tony was insane how good he was in that. He destroyed, he made them work so hard. Like, just, I thought he was just, he's a really good, really, really good player. I hope it's almost like I don't want him to get banged because I feel like it rids us of a player. But to be fair, if he's done about 300 bets, he probably should.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. We're not. Well,
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's move on. Wheel. Where are you? What I'm going to do actually, I'm going to do just a quick check, see if the West Ham Man United game is up. So when that comes to it, we can go to it, which is nice. If you just give me a second, then yeah, we can go to it when we need to. So that's good to know. That's good to know at least. Let's get back to.
It's still coming in last.
it'd be amazing if it did. It'd be amazing if it did. Keeping pace. Credit where it's due, I suppose.
They were, well, game state is everything in it, because if Newcastle score one of those early goals, who knows what happens? The Newcastle clearly at home are looking to come out of the blocks fast. I mean, we experienced it and were 5-0 down before it even started. Luckily for Arsenal, they have a keeper, one of those men that stand between the sticks, and actually he's a really good keeper. He was so good today, yeah. Ramsdale. But if one of those early chances goes in, we don't know how the rest of this game plays out. So I think all of us,
does just look like they just went pound for pound, punch for punch, didn't they? Really,
it did.
Just against each other, just two good teams. It was a very entertaining game, front and back, like both ways.
I did feel like when it got into the final third, though, Arsenal had the better quality. I felt like Martinelli was just at some point. I just felt like he was going to score at some point. He didn't. I think Saka's proper tight. You can't watch an Arsenal game without seeing the physio come on 3 or 4 times for Saka. Like, it happens every single game. He's taken so many kicks. I think there's times where he pulls the physio on probably a bit too much, and I think it probably encourages more that people just boot him. I don't know what the answer is. In terms of how he changes it, because he does get booted repeatedly. But Martinelli, we could end up going back there. Certainly, I am looking at my team and thinking about if they keep pace. If it somehow gets down to a last game of the season, we might want to go off Brighton, one of the Brighton mids, to one of the Arsenal mids, which means you've got to try and look at keeping about £2 million in the bank, because they've been the best assets all season. They really have, the Arsenal mids, and one last punt on a Martinelli or one last punt on an Odegaard definitely is my mind. Odegaard feels like, because he's the captain, he's kind of stepped up a bit.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
if anyone's kept hold of them this week, I smashed it.
Yeah, I mean, the Brighton game's obviously going to be. It's so you wouldn't bring him in this week because you'd be looking to shift on a Brighton mid.
It's a game week 38 punt. It's a game week 38.
Game week 38, it's done though. The problem is it's probably done in game week 38. If you want
probably
okay, maybe not. But what I'm saying is that if you want to punt, I think 37 has to be when you have to go. I feel like it's 37. But the problem is you've got United double. We've all got Rashford. City double. We've all got
so hard.
Well, we've all got sort of got a Grealish or a something, right?
We're not doing it. We're not doing it 36 or 37. It is.
You might not. I might, but yeah. So I think I might do.
We're not doing it.
You can't say we and include me in this conversation.
Oh,
This
okay.
is sort of stupid stuff that I'll do.
Anyway, Arsenal are really good. We can stick at that, and they were quality. And Ramsdale again was really good. And this is we'll talk about some bad VAR during I'm sure the course of this, but this is good VAR. That
Yeah,
penalty was fantastic VAR because it just looks a pen.
yeah.
First glance, it looks a pen. Even second, third glance, I'm like, well, it's a pen.
Well,
Well, it's
yeah.
a pen.
Even when
Well,
I
it's
was
a
checking
pen.
the slow motion, I was like, did it clip his arm? Did it clip his hand, or was it his hand there? Was it his leg? But yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's fair. It's good.
it's like some kind of weird magic eye that suddenly like my eyes uncleared and it was like, oh yeah, I can't remember what was in the commentary, but someone then mentioned that the short moved, and once you realised the short moved, you were like, oh yeah, it does hit his hip first.
Yeah,
um this was exactly what we want VAR for, is that someone looks at it, looks at it, and then goes, yeah, that was worth looking at, and did the right thing. The sad part about this is that obviously the bigger team won, and actually there's two other examples this weekend where guess what, the bigger team won, which is a bit icky because people just already have that agenda that it protects the big boys.
yeah,
Well, it did protect the big boys here, but it was rightly so.
yeah.
Rightly so. It was really good VAR usage. Isaac and Wilson. So you're the most impartial man here because you haven't got Isaac or Wilson, and I'm assuming you're not getting to Isaac or Wilson this week.
No, no. I'm gonna go.
Therefore,
I'm gonna roll with the
as
fantastic Newcastle triple defense. Can't wait.
and then captain one for quadruple defense.
Fuck it, why not? Yeah, maybe.
Yes. But on that note, who would you go for if you had to get one of them in?
I think it's pretty much a coin toss. I think Isaac's the better player, but I think yeah, Isaac's definitely the better player, but I think Wilson's the better goal scorer.
And I think that is it. I don't
So
think we can get any further than that. Have you seen enough from either of them to say that you'd want to cap them next week?
no, probably not. I'd still feel more comfortable captain in Brighton mid. Well,
Or Trippier?
or Trippier.
I
Trippier
think
would
I'd
probably
still
be better.
I think I'd still cap Trippier over both these forwards. The more I think about it. Um I might end up having both of them next week, but I'm still not 100% sure I'd cap either of them. Because Wilson, obviously when he starts, he still comes off on 75. He loves to make a sub about 75, 76, 77 around that time. It's quite an early, it's not like, like last 8 minutes or so. It's relatively early and he takes them off. And I'm like, I actually thought St. Maximin was really good when he came on. He offers something that
Yeah.
the others don't. And I'd really
I
try.
just feel he's a bit reckless. Oh, not reckless. He's just rash, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just unpredictable. I think he's unpredictable to the point where even he has no idea what's about to happen.
But you want to see him have some minutes, don't you? You can't see him having less than say 60 minutes across those two games.
Yeah, probably.
If not 90 minutes or so. And then on that basis, I'm like, that could either if Wilson scores, then you saw it last week, didn't you? Is with Liverpool is basically the one that scores, the other one comes off, as it were. And this could happen in this game. If Wilson scores, Isaac comes off for St. Maximin. If Isaac scores, Wilson comes off for St. Maximin, and on that basis, I'm like, oh God, it's a bit icky. And it's also a bit icky when you don't massively want them past it. So I don't know what I can tell people in terms of who to go. I've got Isaac already.
Do you just have Trippier at the moment? Do you have Botman as well?
I got Botman.
So you'd have to. So you're looking at -4 to.
I've got two
Oh, you rolled. Yeah.
two transfers. Yeah. So I could go Botman somewhere else and then do Watkins, Wilson. It's an
Yeah.
option, but it probably makes it a bit more difficult if I want Bruno or KDB or one of those ones. So I should probably disclaim for myself as a way. I am flying at 10 a.m. next week. The deadline is 11 a.m. next week. You know, we get the league of who starts whilst I'm up in the air. Makes it a little bit harder for me probably to go one of them. So yeah, we'll see how we are with it, but I'm not sure. And those that are having both, I mean, 37, you're going to have the same pain again of who you bench and do it was. I don't know. I think I trust Brighton a little bit more. The more I think about it, I thought Matoma the other night was so good against United.
Those fixtures are just so tough, though. They are as difficult as fixtures they've had for many weeks.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
What we'll see. We'll get a view on Brighton tomorrow. But they've got a big enough break. But the one thing I definitely is ringing in my brain is that in a big game, Matoma was greedier than I've ever seen him and had more shots than I've ever seen him. And I can't quite lose that in my brain. Is that maybe Matoma funds the way forward.
Cool. Haven't even got into single game week captains as well. Maybe.
We're not doing it. Spin that wheel.
Not doing it.
There'll be 100 pods this week that tell you about Wilson v Isaac and all the rest of it and who's the best captain. So we'll leave that to them.
Yeah. Miguel says get rid of the wheel, and we say no. The wheel stays. What a waste of a leak. The servers didn't crash. I was pretty disappointed. Although I say what, the leak was incredible. I mean, just the leak itself was incredible. Live streams, Harry got absolutely nailed by that. It was hilarious. And if you haven't watched Harry's live stream, go to the point where team news.
But they're good pros, though, aren't they? They're so good. Like, little appreciation for the deadline boys. Like, I was watching Andy, and Andy's tried and trusted, mate. He's no innocent man. He didn't get caught out. He weren't playing that video. Harry plays the video. Oh, Harry, we love you so much.
He's never playing a video again, is he? Never gonna.
But even then, took it well, gave it, loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. Fair play.
How did I not have 30 points, 40 points from this game alone? Having KDB, Alvarez, and Haaland. Cap. 2 Haalands.
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand it, mate. I can't help you. I can't. KDB got a bonus point and he didn't return. When does that happen?
I suppose that happens when neither team keeps a clean sheet. I mean, that helps. And
what? And what, own goals? But
what do you mean own goal?
Like, because there's 3 goals in a game. That in itself should get the bonus point, surely.
Well, Rodrigo's a mid, right? I suppose, yeah. So it's 18 points. Gundogan obviously well clear. So you can forget that. Who got the second bonus point?
Mahrez.
Oh, yeah, with 2 assists. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Kev just has it. I mean, and Rodrigo was a sub, wasn't he?
He was a sub.
He came on, so he gets what, 19, 20 points. Like, Kev's baseline is just monster compared to that. When he wants to. So it is possible. And he was creating big chances, right? Like, Alvarez is one. Alvarez is one that's not a big chance, I don't think.
How good would it have been, that one, the little like back heel to Haaland that he pulled wide? That would have been such a cool goal.
Yeah, I would have loved it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I switched it on when the Alvarez. I switched it on about 30 seconds before the Alvarez one at the start as well. So I was just, I don't know, man.
It's very difficult. I think there's a lot of people that potentially in 37 will have Bruno, Salah, Rashford, and 2 Brighton as their midfield. And I'm like, we need a part of this. We need a part of this, but it's difficult. It's difficult because the season's not over, but almost over. After next week, we'll know a lot more again. It's another game closer to it being over. We'll also know a lot more about the Real Madrid one, but they're so good. They're so good. And is Edison just shit?
Uh, was it was you that was tweeting about it, wasn't it? Like
I was tweeting
negative,
about it.
like -5 goals prevented. Like he's just
Negative
been a
5
bad
goals
goalkeeper
prevented.
this year.
Yeah, he has been a go back goalkeeper this year. I don't think there's any kind of way out of that. In that -5. He's conceded like was it 21 out of 66 shots? Where conceded 39% of shots he's faced, and you compare that to like Raya, Leno, Kepa. Like these people are all well under 25% of the chances. The percent
In
shots.
truth, yeah, but in truth, if they conceded 39% of their shots, like like if Leno conceded 39%
yeah,
of the shots that he
yeah.
faced, they would be bottom and down by like January the 3rd, right?
It is a small sample size game because
Because
obviously
he doesn't
when
concede
when
many
you've only
shots.
conceded, but like even this one, looking at it, does it feel like 0.08
No,
xg?
no. You've got, I
But I
mean,
feel like he makes it that way. I
because
feel like
well,
he's running out and like
he's on the move, and that's probably the thing. He's on the move, and he's not going to be he's not going to have much of an angle, right? Because teams in possession as far as he's concerned, which is normally not an issue, and so he's just chilling out just inside his 6 yard box. But if you take if you take a keeper that's off balance and slightly advancing towards you, and you're on the edge of the box, right, as a striker with pretty much no one around you, because let's be honest, there wasn't really anyone around him. There's a tiny bit of pressure. You'd expect a decent Premier League striker slash midfielder or finisher or half decent one to pop it in the bottom corner.
yeah,
You just you would.
you would.
And I know that the data it clearly doesn't support that, given that that's what XG is supposed to represent. It's supposed to represent it on a long period of time or whatever. But
Yeah,
and
he's
average finishes, of course. But
it's updated now because when I tweeted yesterday, obviously I hadn't updated, but now it's updated. -5.5 against XG. He's conceded 27 goals from 68 shots from 21.5 XG against him.
So he had 2 shots against him yesterday. Is that what we're saying? Is this on target?
No, just
Okay.
total lot. But as I said, is Allison conceded double the amount of shots, 137 shots. But he's prevented 8.7 above his XG. Like he bails them out. Allison continually bails them out. We see it all the time. So we do have keepers that will concede bigger chances per shot that they concede because nobody's camped in Man City's half to concede those crappy chances, are they? That's the thing. Nobody's spending time there. So the times that he does get chances against him, they're breaks.
Yeah.
They are weird stuff. And so therefore, do I expect him to save the same percentage as the other? No. But actually it's then that extra skill, isn't it? It's that extra thing of concentration. You hear it though, the best keepers in those ones is like they only faced one shot all game, but they made the difference. He's not making the difference. I think Ortega plays at least one more game before the end of the season.
Fair enough.
I don't think it's next week. Because, but hey, look, if they concede against Everton. Yeah. I mean, if you concede against Everton, then you've got problems.
Yeah, agreed.
Gundo, he could be a last. He could be a last.
Those boys do it. They come in, they woo us for a couple of games or whatever, 3 or 4 games. Bernardo did it last season. Gundo did it the season before. Gundo's back now. He scored a couple of goals. He's not on pens, obviously, anymore. There could be Foden, could be Grealish. I mean, they come in, they do this, they get everyone all hyped up, and then they disappear. So I'm still not convinced on any other City midfielder other than KDB, to be honest. I mean, KDB was superb yesterday, as we've said. Haaland was great. I mean, Alvarez feels like a bit of a risk, but you get what you get for 6 million for Alvarez, really, I think, more than anything.
Do you think he plays all three of them again? Do you think he plays KDB, Alvarez, and...
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the way they played yesterday, right? I mean, there's nothing to say that there's a reason why they shouldn't play together, but he's got such an arsenal. Excuse the pun. He's got such an arsenal of players, isn't he? To use, it's quite ridiculous. How he can just pull this out, because Rodri didn't play yesterday, did he?
Nah.
So Rodri, Foden, Grealish, right? There's three players that will get into pretty much any other team in the Premier League that just sat on the bench or whatever, just chilling out. And there's loads of teams that don't have a fucking midfield. Like, these three guys are just chilling on the bench. It's mental.
Bernardo comes on for the last 10 minutes, just Bernardo.
Didn't even mention Bernardo, did I?
No.
No. So there's four. So yeah, exactly. So no, I mean, KDB feels like if you're going to go there, KDB. Otherwise, I mean, if you want to punt in like 38 on a, well, I suppose you could punt on like a Foden in 37 or a Gundo in 37 or a Mahrez in 37. If you haven't already got the points from this week, of course.
I think there's a lot of people that will end up having a bench, a Grealish or an Alvarez in 36, which is a bit.
Yeah, well, I would say I've got Alvarez on the bench at the moment, so yeah, it makes sense.
But that will change based on what happens in the Real Madrid game. If they're losing to Real Madrid, like, does Haaland play next weekend? We won't know. We can deal with that later in the week. But
yeah, I think now he's got both records, all records, etc., etc. I think that he can probably turn around to him and say, "Look, you have to sit this one."
Yeah, I certainly think that there's still.
He did that with Aguero. He did that with Aguero as well when he needed to have him for Champions League, didn't he? I mean, I know.
Yeah.
They have to win. They still have to win every Premier League game, though. And to be fair, I said last week, if Haaland's fit, he starts. So,
but we just talked about the plethora of options they've got, mate. They've got plenty of options.
It's mad.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Roll them. Move them.
Let's go. Okay. So 4 more games to go. Out of form is Ollie Watkins. Apparently, 3 games in a row.
Is it form?
Is it form? Is it reverting back to the mean? I mean, he had a couple of chances here. I mean, I haven't got the. I was supposed to put him on the thing, actually. That's a bit annoying, but he did have a couple of chances yesterday as well.
Yeah, he did. He did have chances, and I mean, Watkins is going to drop. Like, there's a lot of us that probably, if we keep Watkins, will have him to 38. And I reckon it'd be 500,000 less by the time we get to that point. Like, I think he drops tonight. He'll drop at least one more time before the end of the week, because it doesn't matter whether it's Wilson or Isaac.
Yeah, it's Watkins. Going to be one of the two. He's the make way.
He is the make way.
Oh, I did put Watkins up here. Hold on, there he is. So he had 3 shots. Yeah,
he's the massive make way for this. But Emery, after the game, was talking about. I was really surprised that he was talking about Tottenham. So they're concentrating on Tottenham. They know that 7th place is probably a fight between Villa and Tottenham. And they've got Tottenham at home next week.
Yeah.
I can just see casuals winning on this one. And Ollie going mad. Tottenham. I'm not playing him. I don't think anyone that's got him is playing him, or people are getting rid of him. But just I noted that Emery is all out for that's just a massive must-win game for them, and he is very much their talisman. So let's just keep that in mind. It could be. It could be an
I mean,
issue.
for them to finish, I think even for them to finish 7th, they'll have to win all 3.
Yeah.
So Tottenham, Liverpool away, then Brighton at home. Like Liverpool and Brighton aren't giving up points easy.
Well, hold on. They are only 3 points behind Tottenham,
Yes.
and we've both played the same amount of games.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 goals in the goal difference.
Yeah.
So if they win 2-0.
But we'll beat Leeds on the last day of the season. Right. So let's just put that there.
This is Tottenham.
No. I'm aware.
Look,
I'm aware.
what-
7 years
well,
ago,
Leeds-
we lost to relegated Newcastle with 10 men, 5-1 or something. But still, it's.
But
And Brentford are poor away. Well,
it's a big game for them. That's all I'm saying. It's a big, big game for them. From Wolves' perspective, like Lopetegui has done a ridiculous job. But I feel like people have forgotten that the Wolves were bottom at Christmas. They're 13th now.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Teams that are bottom of Christmas go down. That's like 90% of the time. There's literally like I think less than double figure teams that have been bottom of Christmas and haven't gone down.
Is that true? I didn't actually realise they were bottom of Christmas.
Bottom of Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm saying it's like it's gone completely under the radar that this was a bottom of Christmas team.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Mad. I can't believe that.
Like if you see at the end of the game how much he was celebrating in, like in 40 points, mate. I mean, I don't even know what his bonus is on that, but I bet you he had a serious bonus on 40 points.
Yeah.
If you saw the way he celebrated, he has done a ridiculous job.
Their home form has been sensational. I mean, their away form has been a little bit. I mean, they've conceded a lot of goals away from home. Like the only time that I picked 2 Wolves defenders was when they went away to Leicester in the free hit, which was a bit frustrating. But I mean, like their home form in the last 7 or 8 weeks, last 2 months has just been phenomenally good, actually.
I think a lot of people are like worried about benching Luke Shaw home to Wolves next week.
That's mad. They're 10 points from 15 games. That's mental. I did not
10 points from 15 games. It's like it's that bad.
I'm trying to see where they're going to be. That's horrific.
They've got 30 points from the last 20 games.
So they're 9.
Like 1.5 points a game. Win every other game.
They got more points than. So yeah, I mean, well, they got more points than basically the whole bottom half plus Tottenham, and more points than Tottenham since Christmas. Since the World Cup, they're better than Tottenham.
Yes, like Wolves are a decent team now. They're a decent outfit.
That's mad.
I need to try and keep that in my brain because I think a lot of me is looking at Shaw next week and all the United defenders, and I'm contemplating bringing Bruno in, and I might still do that.
They've got a better defensive home record. They're better. They've got a better. The defense
Wolves
is better.
are good, mate.
Hold on, they have the second best defense in the league at home since Christmas. They've conceded 6 goals.
They're really good. I think all of us looked at this and went, "Oh, everyone with Watkins was like, yeah, it's a good fixture, Wolves. Good fixture, Wolves. Wolves are good."
They've got 2. To be fair though, they've got 2 away games left. United and Arsenal, and they've got Everton at home. Everton at home is probably a clean. So if there's anybody free hitting in 37, like if anyone has a free hit in 37, like that is a perfect place to go to get some cheap players. It's to double up on Wolves' defense. There you go.
Oh, when they need to get out of it, you don't want any defense in 38 anyway. But
do we want anything? We've spent a lot of time on this game, man.
Just we're all going to sell Watkins.
We're all going to sell Watkins. I sold Watkins already. Okay. Wheel of Fun. Where are we going? I assume everyone's off tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah.
Everyone's off tomorrow, so we're not rushed for time. Second all time, because every time we have to talk about Tottenham, we have to talk about Harry Kane because he just breaks another random record. I heard the Spurs guy tell him that he broke some sort of right foot, left foot header record thing that he just made up on the spot or some bullshit like that. So fair play to Harry for whatever record he broke.
I wish I'd just kept Harry Kane.
Oh, it's so annoying.
I don't know how I would have done it. I don't know, what the mechanics would have been, but I don't like Harry Kane scoring, and I mean I own him. So let's talk about this from a Palace is Palace, whatever. You either don't own or you're not going to own. It's a pretty game, this.
Well, yeah,
but
it was. It was definitely scrappy. It was definitely a grind, both ways.
Yeah, definitely a grind both ways. But this is probably the first time all season, and I mean all season, where I've seen us in the formation that we were supposed to have been playing all season, and played it well. Like,
yeah,
we actually played with the shape that we were supposed to play. So Royal came in at right centre back. Quite useful with Davies playing left wing back, because effectively
you've got a shifted back four. You've got a back four that sort of slots in. It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
it does work.
It does work. Romero then gets to play the centre back, which means he can quarterback it. I've always flirt back to when Gianni told us all about, is the old Bonucci type role of three at the back if you want a centre at the quarterback, and he got the right protection because Højbjerg and Skip just sat in front of him and blocked it off. And then what that did mean was that Porro could do what he liked down that right side, because he at all times had six people behind him. That's effectively six people behind the ball from Tottenham, and then four people attacking, and one of those is Porro.
Yeah, and that's how the game played out.
That's how the game played out.
I don't think we're going to win any awards for style points, though. I mean, like in the way
functional.
That we played. Functional, yeah. Functional is probably the right way of putting it.
It's the most functional, and it's the most I've ever felt watching us all season, that we weren't going to do something stupid. When you're watching, you're like, when are we going to do the stupid thing? When are we going to do the stupid? It was the first time I was like, oh, it doesn't look like we're going to do the stupid thing. I cannot remember a last 10 minutes of a game that we managed out so well. Ever.
I said it to you yesterday, didn't I? That particularly injury time, I've never seen it done so professionally from us. Like, it was just purely kill the game, kill everything, and just grind it out, take the win. Oh my god, it's killing me. Every time Son's face comes up onto the screen, I see that chance come up, and it's just killing me.
Chance, mate.
He should have just chipped him, and I'd have had his points.
It just had to do one or the other. He had to either push it way past Johnston so that he could slot it in, or he had to lift it early. But he did half. He did the half, and you're unfortunate there, mate.
Yeah,
you were probably unfortunate there, but yeah, Kane keeps scoring. I do think, looking at that one, defenders, Porro looks like he's fun.
Yeah, I mean, well, Royal came out of nowhere, didn't he? Like, we didn't even know he was like. Go on, you were going to say the Mason
on Friday? Quote? Yeah. Mason basically said, "Oh yes, we might see Royal before the end of the season. Well, might see Royal and might see Sessegnon. I think he said before the end of the season. There was two players he said we might see before the end of the season." And the next day he starts.
It just rolls him out for the King's coronation, basically.
Yeah, I love it. I love it if that's what we did. I love it if someone said, hold on, boys.
Royal's got to go.
There's no... I could even imagine Emerson Royal thinking, there's no better compilation for me than to do a coronation compilation. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think well, too many doubles to consider any more Tottenham players.
The only way we're ever getting Kane again this season is if there's a leak that says Haaland doesn't start last game of the season. That's the only way.
Yeah, which won't happen. Okay.
Roll it.
You said it's going to be last, didn't you? Oh, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Okay.
How bad is it? Was it 0.03 XG for Ben Rather?
Yeah, I'm surprised it was even that. Because and that was about what 5 yards further away than the Rodrigo one, but with two defenders in the way, and it was basically straight at him.
Yeah, I mean that's the chance, isn't it? That's not how hard it was to save it. Like that's the on what you where the position you were and what you
Yeah,
did. That's the chance that you score it. Then probably once it hits it, it becomes even
less.
worse.
Yeah,
He got a full hand to it and just
I
pushed it
don't
in.
understand it. I don't understand what he was trying to do. I don't know whether he was just trying to lie there and just basically like block it and like just have his hand basically on the ball, but I don't know
They
what he was
beat
trying to do.
it. In general, they beat United up everywhere across the pitch. They were beating them up. They were bludgeoning their way to the goal repeatedly, and every attack felt like a bludgeon. It didn't feel like of any quality. It was like I'm just going to get into the box. We're going to muddle my way there. I'm going to do something with it and hope that we can prod something in. I mean, it was quite weak. The Antonio one that was disallowed, like that was good goalkeeper protection. But West Ham are on it, and
Yeah.
that's 37 points for them. They're gone. They're safe. Well done, boys. Well done, West Ham fans. You are safe. Um,
I mentioned Rashford earlier. Mike brought it up. Mike Halpin, shout out to you in the chat. Rashford's scored once in like 2 months. We're all just holding
yeah.
him until 37, aren't we?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. We are.
Yeah, doubles just dictate everything in this game. It's
Doubles
really.
dictate everything. Is so irritating, but they do. I thought
I
Bruno.
mean, if anything, I would try and if anything, if I can engineer, if I could somehow engineer a way out of Rashford to Bruno, and to have Bruno for a double rather than Rashford for the double. Don't know. I think I'd prefer that, even though last week
I
we said we
think
weren't going to have him. But
I mean, it'd be interesting to see where they buy in the summer and what they do. But what I have noticed is that as the games progress, they actually, what they should do is stick with most of the same players and remove the ineffective players, but they don't. They they muddle it further at times. So all you want as the game goes on is to Bruno to get more central, closer to Rashford, and they both just basically get up there in the middle of the box. But what ends up happening is Sancho comes on, your Veghorst come or Martial comes on, or whichever ones it is. And then Bruno ends up wider and wider and wider. You know, he was just basically standing out, punting balls into the box at the end. Good balls, but it's just not really where you want him. You want him in the middle. Uh, and and then Rash is people get in the way.
yeah, you
I
wouldn't
just
mind more of a like a Martial out, no, it's a Veghorst out for a Sancho, and that keeps width. Yeah, I mean he's
yeah,
the only other. Well, apart from Garnacho, I suppose he's the only other wide option.
yeah.
You have to
At
find
least
ways to get them more central. I agree with that.
I see when Garnacho comes on, he offers quite a lot of pace out wide, and he comes on and he scares people. The rest of them just everyone just feels like they get in the way when they come on for them. I don't like it, and I always feel like Bruno is at his most dangerous in the last 10 minutes, and obviously he could have scored an assist in the first 10 minutes, but I felt in that first half he was he was really dangerous, Bruno. I really, as a non-Bruno owner, I was like, oh, I don't like not owning Bruno here. I felt strangely as the game went on and he got pushed wider and wider. I was like, well, worst case, he's going to walk over 5 or 6 points here.
Yeah,
Whereas normally I'd be like, oh, I'm panicked that he's going to score a late winner and it'll be an 8 point winner because he's going to get the bonus. I don't feel comfortable not having Bruno.
yeah,
I don't feel comfortable not having Bruno. Um, but they're not quite functioning. It's fun now though. I mean, they're only 1 point above Liverpool, game in hand. but they're only 1 point above Liverpool. It's getting tasty. And we just mentioned Wolves. If Wolves somehow sneak a draw, oh, that double gets real tasty.
Mm. Move on to the last game.
Move on to the last game.
It's a complete non-event, but I mean, as
hold on. Let's just say the VAR, because I mentioned it earlier. The good VAR. How is that not a penalty for Lindelof?
Oh yeah, that didn't. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me because he kind of it looked like he was supposed to move out the way, and then he kind of then just moved in the way.
He's like, try to move out the way, but then he tries to move his head towards the ball, and then he sort of just flings his arm like a weird involuntary movement. It's unfortunate, but it's a penalty.
Yeah.
What? There's just no point. There's no point in VAR doing good things like they did at the Arsenal one game if they then don't do it in this one. And like I say, when it favours
like
the bigger
even
team,
worse. It feels like it's even worse because all of the video review is done in the same place. So it feels like they're sat next to each other and they're just making different decisions. It's not like, yeah. It feels like almost like a shared service center where the guys next to you are doing something completely different to you, even though you're working for the same company, which makes no sense.
It does make sense. Wouldn't you? Do you not think like you'd be like, I'm going to show you something cool. I'm going to show you something cool here. You didn't spot that, ref, but actually, come and look at this because this is interesting, and that's a penalty. And you're like, yes, and like oh, come look at this one. If you look, it looks like it hits his hand, but technically it hits his thigh, so it's not a penalty. And you're like, yes, that's smart. Think about that Tony one early in the season where it's like, looks like a penalty, but actually he's pulled his arm himself to make it not. You're like, yes, this is useful VAR.
Yeah.
But that's not what's always happening. Now we go to that last game again. That at 1-1, that does not look like a penalty for Bournemouth. It looks like a good challenge from Thiago Silva. He comes in from that side. The ball goes that way. He's Thiago Silva, a legend of the game. He's fantastic. You assume he's done it right.
And he doesn't get the ball.
And he doesn't get the ball. He's quite clearly clipped his foot. And that's where it's like, ref, yeah. I've got no issue that you got that wrong, because to every single person in the world, that looks like it's not a penalty. But now come and look at it this way. And we've become really useful. This VAR is better than not having VAR.
I totally agree. I mean, I didn't think it was a foul when it happened, with the view that we had from the TV camera, like the first view, live, whatever, replayed. But then
everything about
the
it
camera
looks like
that they're supposed to use, yeah. I mean,
and they were all over him at that point. Bournemouth were all over him at that point. Like, if that goes 2-1 up, they are in big trouble. But it wasn't.
And they found a way back in.
They found a way back in.
It felt like a bit of a smash and grab at the end there as well. It really did feel like a smash and grab.
Yeah.
I think the free kick felt weak for Badiashile.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not. I mean, they haven't got the greatest players in defence. They haven't got good centre backs. They haven't.
Chris Mepham and Senesi and
Senesi, what his name is,
Adam Smith, and yeah.
Nah. Avina is definitely a baller, but he's not really a defender. Another ridiculous goal. Yeah. Well done, Chelsea. That's better. It is better.
That Fina goal had like Payet vibes about it. Yeah. It looked like it was so high. It looked like it was so miles over the bar and then just nestled in the top corner. If everyone remembers that Payet free kick.
Yeah. Absolutely did.
Couldn't believe that.
I mean, yeah, in that first few minutes, he was like, "Oh, what? Gallagher?"
Hold on. just reminding myself that was N'Golo Kante out on the right hand side, just delivering the ball into Conor Gallagher. I was like, what the fuck is he doing out there?
Kante, since he's been back, has basically played as a right winger. I can't really understand it. They've just said, nah, don't worry about that defensive, mate. He has been getting more sort of box to box and all that sort of stuff, but they've basically just said, don't worry about those tackles. I know you were good at them, but nah.
It's not even the tackles.
But at least Gallagher, like, that's what he was good at Palace, was just stand around. Like, we know he's allergic to the ball, but be in the right place at the right time and put something in. So there's a lot of good stuff. He finally lucked in. He played Badia Sheely, who's probably their best defender. Playing him's a good idea. And then do you know what? I completely forgot that Felix even played for him anymore. I'd blanked it from my brain that he'd gone there, and then realised, yeah, he's there. He's there again. Because then I thought about that and thought, hold on, he was actually quite good. And then why is it when he gone there, as Lampard just said, nah, stuff you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I reckon Lampard said to him something about Maradona or something. Said, I'm better than Maradona. And they all went. No, that's some kind of theory. Basically, he claimed he was better than Felix, definitely as well.
Probably.
Yeah. You watch me. You watch me take a few free kicks, he said. I'll finish a few. Oh, Frank.
Right. None of these players for the rest of the season, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Got any questions? Anyone got any questions?
So, like, if people are trying to strip money to do some stuff, last game of the season, Bournemouth v Everton.
Well, you're thinking of holding him through rather than going to
Greenwood. I'm not sure. We've only got so many moves now, and I'm not sure how we're going to spend them all.
I would just hold on to Solanke if that's the case, because he's for most people they would have got him at what 5'6", 5'5".
But what I'm saying is, even if you thought like, what I want to do is, so some people are going to be like Watkins, strip money to do something like Grealish to Bruno.
That's 2-3 transfers, right?
Yeah.
I suppose quite a few people have rolled this week, so yeah, you could do it.
Yeah. That's what it is. Question in the chat. That's games, isn't it? Dumb games. Question in the chat. Nor FM said, if Ferguson is out on no show against Everton, should he go Ferguson to Enciso? How do you feel about
that? I don't see why not. I don't mind
it. If you wanted,
I think you go to whichever one deserves. Whether it's him or Welbeck, I think you just go to whichever one you feel like is going to have the most minutes over the next 3 weeks.
And I do know you like a punt, and then Enciso captain.
The problem with a Brighton captain
is the games.
Like in their next two doubles, they've got Arsenal away, Newcastle away, and City at home. Like 36 is Arsenal away, Newcastle away. I mean, you can't. I said it earlier. I probably prefer a Brighton midfielder, but I don't think it's a tough ask to captain a Brighton midfielder actually, and it's even harder to then captain a Brighton striker.
Scoring the winner against Arsenal to cost them the league.
I mean, it would be incredible, mate. But
it just pushing every button I can.
I just got images of it's Stan's dad at the computer image meme. If you know the one, it's that. That's what happens. That's what happens if you've got an Enciso captain and he scores the winner against Arsenal to stop them winning the league. That's what happens.
Oh, I know it.
Everyone knows
it. Everyone knows it.
But we're not seeing it.
We've got any other questions? Jammer says, play Rashford or Fernandes or Watkins in 36. Yeah, I'd still play Rashford or Fernandes. I still would. Home to Wolves. You've got to do it.
Wolves have been bad away. Like, I mean, we said they've been good at home, but if you look at their
They need to
recent
win
away
as
form,
well. They
who
just need to win.
United,
United
yeah,
need to
yeah,
win.
Wolves don't have to do anything anymore.
No.
We're getting back to teams being on the beach. But I'm just looking at their last away games, right? Obviously, they lost 6-0 to Brighton. They lost 2-1 to Leicester. They they drew 1-1 at
Yeah.
Forest.
Nah. You play
Yeah,
Rashford or Bruno.
yeah, definitely.
There is a dilemma, I think. I'm going to throw this one out to you. Would you rather play Bruno against Wolves or Trent away to Leicester?
Um, oh, that's hard. I think
Yeah,
that's really close.
it's a dilemma, I think, for more than a few people.
I think I would probably play Bruno at home to Wolves. I think I'd
Mm,
probably just go Bruno at home to Wolves, just because Liverpool away they just aren't as good.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a toughie. But yeah, I could have
I
that
think that's real
situation.
close. That is.
Yeah, I could bring Bruno in this week, but it would either mean either selling or benching Trent. I don't want to do either of those things.
There's no doubles.
Oh,
Oh,
mate, people
Nord.
are adding
Oh,
it in the chat. Remember the Leicester XG at home? Oh my god!
yes, that's why I did double Wolves defense in my free hit.
So we just captain Trent.
Ah, that stat is why I did my double Wolves defense in my free hit, and it fucked it.
Best triple captain punt if you still have it for capital FPL. Brighton in
De
37.
Bruyne in
Haaland,
37. Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
De Bruyne 37, just for magic.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one.
Would you
Um,
bring in Trent or Botman 36? I'd bring in Trent.
Free, would you bring in Trent or
Or
Botman?
on that basis, should I play Trent and bench Botman? I mean, there's a genuine decision for some people here in that situation where just look at these fixtures again. Trent away at Leicester or Botman against Leeds away, who need something,
Yeah,
and
and
then
Brighton
Brighton
at
at home.
home, who want something as well.
That's an eek.
And
Like,
look, I mean, I'm absolutely like it's genuinely one clean sheet in 16 games. I think for Newcastle now. I don't. Fuck your XGC, honestly. Like one clean sheet in 16 games. Like fuck's sake. It is honestly mind
the
blowing.
the Botman thing is like partially like because there'll be people that cap Trippier.
Yeah,
Like we know that Newcastle defense is going to might be even as much as over 200% owned this week. So anyone who's taking it away, just understand like it's either massive or
it's one in
it's bad,
14.
bad.
It's 1 in 14, man. It's 1 in 14 league
Yeah.
games.
And then Estupinan, right, over Trent. So I can't, it's so red, I can't even see what you're showing on the screen. What's Brighton's fixtures again?
It's Arsenal away, Newcastle away. This is what I was saying about a
We,
single game week captain.
so we're captaining Trent.
Why would you just not? Like, who are the players? Yeah, who are the players that we've got? Do you just captain Haaland?
I don't think in between. I don't think in between the two Real Madrid games. I don't know if I can.
Imagine. I mean, if City are winning 3-0 after the first leg, can you imagine that?
Oh God.
It's got Alvarez. It's got Alvarez cap written all over it, isn't it? Everton away.
We
Oh
had
wait, that's one.
what game was it? There was a double game week last season, and Salah. Some people went single game week on Salah, and that paid. Can't remember what that was, but there was a double, and it was crappy. But the single game week and Salah paid.
It must have been like 20.
Zoff will text me in the morning. I'm sure Zoff did it.
Okay.
He'll text me in the morning. He'll say, "Yeah, I did that." But
yeah, there's definitely good. I mean, there's definitely good single captaincy options if you can guarantee the minutes, right? Like KDB feels like a good cap.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't. One of the things on the bottom, you cannot. It doesn't sit well with me. You cannot cap Trippier and not also play Botman
because it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
If you cap Trippier, you have to play Botman as well.
I'm having 4, aren't I? I'm going 4, aren't I? I'm going Trips cap, Pope, Botman. Literally, balls on the line. Guaranteed to be cleaned out by a Luke Ayling banger after 3 minutes.
We're holding to it. Tom Stevenson in the chat, legend. The game says Isaac cap.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not a bad chat. I just can't see myself. Well, I'm not going to have a Brighton forward, but I just don't think there's been enough consistency from them, has there? Like,
no.
How many double-digit hauls have we had from them? How many double-digit returns? I mean, I can't even go to them because I don't have them on my team. But what have they done?
I think for the nature of the BPS pod that we love to do is that Isaac, on the R bonus, he's a good man. Probably should do it for that sake.
Well, because he does more than just.
He does more than the rest. Yeah. There is one, like 27 and 28. He got 20 points in those 2 games between them. I mean, Haaland genuinely could at any point.
17 points against Everton, couldn't he? But then at the same time, Wilson.
You'd have to think he's limited, though. Like, you'd have to think he's limited.
Wilson, 34, 33, 25 points. 29, 30 combination, 17 points. 29 double, Wilson got 19 points.
I think if you bring Wilson in, you have to cap him.
Yeah, you
I think anybody that brings Wilson in has to cap him. It's like it's a balls on the table move. Got to do it.
Yeah.
On
that note, if you have enjoyed watching above average FPL, if you have enjoyed watching us above average FPL today, yes, Flapjack Salah, good option. No, he's away from home. Although he doesn't like scoring against Leicester.
Who's even playing left back? Is it Luke? It's not Luke Thomas again, is it? Who's even playing left back for Leicester nowadays?
They haven't played this weekend, so it wouldn't
matter. Oh, God. We're going to see Luke Thomas line up for Leicester tomorrow night, and that'll be it.
Nor says, remember missing a penalty at Leicester. Yeah, no, I remember that, actually, yeah, because I captained him on my free hit.
Yeah, Luke Thomas started last game.
Yeah, option. I don't have him.
Why not Trent? He's down there. He's going to cut inside.
Leave that for later in the week.
I can't lose Trent. No. It's Christensen or
We'll figure it out, mate. We'll figure it out. But again, thank you to everyone that's joined us in the chat today. Over 150 of you today, right near the end of the season. That's massive. Thanks very much for your support, guys. If you do like what we're doing, then make sure you drop a like on the way out, and make sure if you want to see more of us, then hit subscribe. Yeah, Baker, you are not here next week, so I will be joined by the wonderful Praz again. So thank you to Praz for stepping in next week. And anything else, mate?
Pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Not many Sundays left now, but yeah, maybe try and get something in later in the week when we know a bit more.
Cool, mate. Well, if I don't speak to you before then, enjoy Scottsdale, you wanker. See you later.
See you later.